Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome into my garden. I am back today with another weekly update. As you can see, today's a cloudy day, so let's go ahead and go see what's happening out in the garden since it's pretty comfortable to be outside right now. Alright, as usual, we are going to start over here in the tomato patch. I was just waiting for that carpenter bee to fly over to one of the other flower shrubs, but things are looking really good over here. I haven't cut any other plants down, but I've added quite a few into all three of the beds. So starting in this back bed here, I have added in all of the cabbage. So last week I added in the Chinese cabbage along the front here, and then down the middle I added my traditional cabbage types, Copenhagen, and I can't remember the name of the other one. And something is getting my phenomenal cowpeas there. You can see I'm not entirely sure what is eating them, but they carry it into this bed and then nibble on it and then leave the pod behind. Really bizarre. Yeah, so that's really bizarre. Whatever is carrying that over, it's happening at night, so I would imagine it is something fuzzy and gross. But I'm kind of just keeping an eye on the rest of the garden to make sure no other damage is occurring. But yes, so along the back here, Brussels sprout. Down the middle is like the traditional cabbage, and then the front is like the Napa type cabbage. And then this middle bed has had several plants added to it all the way down. So I planted in the Yadfa Chinese broccoli, and then also the Aspa brock, and the green magic broccoli, and the purple magic broccoli along the front edge in between tomato plants there, all the way down. Yadfa is kind of right here in this area. And then there are carrots starting to germinate. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in there. So we have some carrots starting to germinate. There's a few over here. So I did not plant any broccoli or cauliflower there. I just kind of scooted them back right here. So this bed is pretty densely planted, and I'm really excited to see all the food that comes out of here. The cowpeas are doing really well, obviously, since they're feeding pesky rodents. I'm afraid it might be like a rat or mouse, so I'll need to get my traps set up to try to get that situation under control. And if you can see there's some more carrots that have germinated, so that's really exciting. Not as many along this back side. As there were along that front side, but that's okay. Like I said last week, my carrot seeds were several years old, so any carrots is better than no carrots at all. And then more cowpeas down here. These are doing really well. Surprisingly, they didn't get any that were like close to the ground. It's like they're jumping into the bed to take it and then moving to the other bed to nibble it. Really weird. So yeah, I'll get some traps set out here. Try to do a little bit better job patrolling in the evenings. All my energy happens early in the day, and then by the time it gets dark, I'm ready for bed. Early to bed, early to rise. Eggplants still doing really well. Looks like we have some new Black Beauty that have set some fruit, more blooms. Another one that has set fruit there. The other ones down here are the Listada de Giandia, or however that is pronounced. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that. But those are growing as well. So looking pretty good. This Thai basil, I need to figure out if I'm going to dry it for winter use or just let it fizzle out. I really only use it in stir fries or like Thai curry dishes and pho, sometimes ramen. So I'm not really sure if the dried version would be as good as fresh. I guess it's worth an experiment to see. So yeah, I just need to figure that out, because underneath I have all this oregano growing and it's flowering. Super cute. Up here, the front bed in the tomato patch, collard greens, all collard green plants are officially transplanted into here. I transplanted the last few in the rain the other day, so those are here. I'm not even sure that that is a collard green. It looks kind of like a mustard green, but I didn't intentionally start seeds for mustard greens indoors. It was mixed in with my collard green seeds, so we'll see as that develops what it turns into. It looks like I have possibly cilantro starting to sprout here. I think that's what I planted here, was cilantro. There's 3 spots where it has germinated. So that's kind of how things are going in this bed. I direct sowed some more spinach seeds into this end down here yesterday, and then next week I'll start transplanting in some kale on the back and middle part of this end. So tons of leafy greens going to be planted throughout this bed for us to eat throughout the fall and winter, so that will be glorious. All right, over here, not a whole lot has changed in these beds, if anything. I don't believe I've removed any other plants compared to last week's update. The okra is still doing incredibly well. I haven't harvested yet today, but you could tell that I kind of need to. These are all doing really, really well. I direct sowed in some bull's blood and touchstone gold beets yesterday into this area here. These beets that I direct sowed in have not germinated yet. I'm not too concerned. I'm just trying to keep the soil moist and all that. But everything is still looking really fantastic over here. There's still several bell peppers just growing and growing. That one is starting to ripen. That one is a really good size. So really cool. Then over here, I'm trying to think, what did I put in here? Oh, I direct sowed some white egg turnip seeds in here yesterday in the rain. I think that might be the best way to direct sow your seeds, is while it's raining, because the soil is wet. But that's pretty much all that has changed in this bed. Last week some radishes and some other turnips went in, but nothing has germinated yet. It's been kind of weird weather-wise, but let me show you what happens if you don't see okra as it is growing. That is one huge okra pod. I'll need to cut that today, and then it looks like I may have a couple that are ready to harvest today from these two. These are Clemson spineless. Pretty good, pretty reliable variety. Ajvarski peppers, I've had a lot of grasshopper issues with these. You can see damage there from a grasshopper, but this one got pretty big, so hopefully that one will actually be able to ripen without a grasshopper destroying it. Purple Beauty Bell, it actually is a purple variety. You can see there, as it gets sunlight, it is more purple versus whenever it's shaded like this one is, covered by all the leaves and such. But doing pretty well. That's like a so this plant is especially funny. It's so tall now. This one, when I transplanted it out at the end of March, roly-polies ate it down to just like a little tiny nubbin of a plant. So it started off far behind all of the other peppers in this bed. because for whatever reason, they really just wanted to nibble on this one. And now it's like the biggest one in here. So, well, it's the second biggest. This Ajvarski is the biggest, but I just thought that that was really funny that once it recovered from the roly-poly damage, it just took off, and now it's kind of overshadowing all the other plants in the bed. So that's cool. It's really beautiful basil here. I believe this is the purple opal basil. Really lovely. And this one I actually started in June. No, I started this one in July and transplanted it out in August. So that's why it has not bolted yet. If you see the basils that have been here a long time, they are all bolted and have gone completely to seed. It doesn't bother me when that happens. I don't find that it affects the flavor that much. We still use it the same ways, and whenever it goes to seed like that, it starts to have the little flowers on it. The bees really love it, so it's kind of like a combo plant for us. Like, we get food from it, and then we're also helping to feed the pollinators. So if your basil has bolted and gone to seed, it's not that worrisome. It's still usable. You can still use it for tea or cooking or however you like to use your basil. This one I actually think that I need to go ahead and cut down because most of it has already died off, and it's not producing any new flowers. As you can see, all those seed pods are like dried up. Probably deposited 7 million basil seeds into my garden and yard at this point. And then that will just open up space for me to get more root vegetables transplanted into, or not transplanted, but direct sown into. All right, we got new neighbors, and they have a dog, and Otis is obsessed with trying to figure out if this dog is going to be a friend or an enemy. He just basically sits in front of the fence or stands in front of the fence most of the day. But the crowning glory of this weekly update is the sunflower patch. There are so many sunflowers that are open now, and they're just so beautiful. So happy. Look at that guy, like partially open little buddy there. Just all the way down, you can see the carpenter bee just getting all its pollen. You can see its legs are just full of pollen there. Super fun. But all the way down, there's several sunflowers that are open. Of course, some are fizzling out because, you know, they were the first to open, like this guy here, and then that one and that one. But these other ones just started opening this week, so we should have a good week left with really good, really beautiful blooms. This is the one from last week that I showed you guys. So pretty. But overall, this is my favorite part of the garden right now, just because it's so pretty and so happy. And that sunflower is actually facing a direction where we can see it. Over here in the flower bed, where it is extreme chaos right now, as you can see, the cover crop has germinated really well and is starting to fill in the flower bed in, and the bush beans are really taking off and starting to put on lots of leaves and height. These little plants are spider lilies. I wasn't even actually sure if they were going to come back. They just popped up one day, and you know, they're growing several inches per day, and I'm pretty sure those flowers will open before the next update next week, so you'll be able to see those. They are really beautiful. They add like a fun, different textural component within the rest of the garden, and because they're perennial, they will come back year after year as long as I don't unalive them somehow. There are a few in here, and I was trying to remember if there was one over here. Oh, here we go. This one's a little bit behind. There it is. And then again, cover crops are really filling things in. Nutsedge, they're causing chaos. The Gomphrena is doing really well. It looks really striking against that orange, I will say. These pumpkin on a stick, I did notice that there is at least one more on there. I carefully harvested the ripe one that was on here the other day, and I thought that I noticed, there we go, if you can see that guy back in there, that one, and there may be a couple more. There's a ton of blooms on here, but I have decided I'm likely not going to grow it next year, simply because I don't, one, it's much bigger than I thought it was going to be as a plant. Like, it is nearly as tall as I am, and I'm 5'6" for reference. It is probably 5 foot tall at this point, or very near it. So I just don't want something that massive in here that has that much, that many thorns associated with it. The thorns are up the stem and then on the undersides of the leaves, so it's quite pokey. So yes, I don't think I'll be growing it next year. Of course, I may change my mind because I do that, but as of right now, I'm not growing it next year. And then we have more cover crops and more flowers and more spider lilies growing in here all the way down this end. And then over here into Lily's portion of the flower bed, you can see where these zinnias, these really beautifully colored zinnias, are just starting to bloom a lot. So many beautifully colored flowers. That's going to make Lily very happy whenever I show her later. Yesterday was her birthday, so she kind of gets birthday flowers there. She'll be happy about that. Cowpeas on this green stalk are doing really well. There for a few weeks there weren't any growing on here, but as you can see, they have come back with a vengeance. So I should get a good harvest off of here at least one more time before the first frost, and then be able to add that to my New Year's Eve black-eyed pea collection that I have going in there. Couldn't think of words there for a second. Yeah, see, there's a ton on this side as well. Up top, these are field peas. So they're essentially just like the black-eyed peas, but they don't have the big black spots on them. They're cream colored all the way on the entire pea. So, but I'm going to use them the same way. These pretty little petunias. These are doing really well. Not as well as the ones on the other end, which I'll show you guys if I remember. Still really cute to look out the back door and see those right there. They're so happy. Let me back up a little bit to get the whole thing in the view. All right, the hot pepper green stalk. I do think I need to add some nitrogen fertilizer in here. I see some yellowing leaves there. I can at least come through with some earthworm castings and give them an overall boost on everything. This plant has been sick for a little while, and I did fertilize it and I did treat it, but I think it's just, I don't know. I think that it has just given up for the season, and that's totally okay. All the other plants are bouncing back from the really heavy harvest that I did. This jalapeno plant has set more fruit, a ton more, all over. And then there's Buena Mulatas I have set fruit, more jalapenos. There's serranos on the other side, rattlesnake pepper. Everything has basically bounced back like I thought that it would. So I'll get another run of peppers. We have this sugar rush peach that's ripe. I'm gonna let it sit out here today. Hopefully it gets some sunshine on it to help make it a little bit spicier, because I don't want it to be flavorless and cruddy. So we're gonna let that get a little bit of heat from the day and then harvest it a little bit later. This mystery plant, I still don't know what it is. It does look like a bell pepper, and if it is, it's a very small one, sort of like the Mexi bell up top, but not as round. But some of the peppers look like jalapenos. Some of them look like poblanos. It's really like that's part of the same plant. This is part of the same plant. This is part of the same plant. Like every pepper on it looks totally different. They're all starting to ripen now. So at the end of the day, I will harvest these with this Sugar Rush peach here. And then there's a lemon spice jalapeno right here. It's just about ripe. Oh, looks like something actually nibbled on that. No, wait, I don't know. Yeah, something nibbled that one, so I'll have to harvest that. We have a ripe serrano here. These Buena Mulatas that have gotten ripe. But we have serranos setting new fruits here. Tabasco. There's a ton of Tabasco on this plant. That's cool. Maybe I can make a little bit of sauce. More jalapenos. Like, everything in this green stock is doing really well with the exception of that one Buena Mulata pepper, and then things just needing a little bit of nitrogen. But lots of cayennes that are ready for me to harvest. A lot of mushroom peppers that are ready for me to harvest. So what I'm doing with the mushroom peppers is I'm just dehydrating them, crushing them up to use as crushed red pepper. That's also what the Mexi bell is being used for. And the cayenne, I'm just making kind of a blend of crushed red pepper. And it's been working out really well. Looks like I may have ripe jalapeno. Something nibbled it. It's all like shriveled up and gross. All right, let's talk about the lime tree. So I made lamb quesadilla tacos on Sunday, and I forgot to buy limes. So we harvested the limes off of here, and let me tell you, those were the best limes that I think I may have ever had. They were so juicy, so flavorful, just absolutely everything that you would want from a lime. We didn't use them all for the quesadilla, so I used the one other one in the chicken fajita marinade a couple of days later. We eat a lot of tacos here. And it was just absolutely amazing. So juicy. A lot of times when I buy limes from the store, there's like zero juice in them. These were everything that I wanted. So I am so happy. I do need to give the plant a shot of nitrogen, and then it'll get transplanted into here. I use blood meal, granulated fertilizer for like a slow release nitrogen, and then I'll add that into the soil whenever I transplant it into here, and it should bounce back and be fine. Strawberries, these are looking really great, considering what they look like, you know, when I planted them. I'm really happy with what's going on right here. Need to try to convince that guy to move into that home right there. But we have several runners. I think that might be leaf-footed nymph bugs there. Ew. So I will come back out and get rid of those. But hopefully that's like assassin bugs. Let me see if we can zoom in on that and get a picture, and I'll try to get identification. Okay, anywho, aside from the little red insects, looking really great. Really happy with this. Once we start reaching pretty cold temperatures, I do have a frost cover that fits this perfectly that I'll just slide over. It has like a drawstring at the bottom that you pull it tight, and I'll be able to protect these strawberries until it warms back up again. So I'm really excited that I didn't kill all the strawberries whenever I planted them. That makes me really happy. The dog of course, being a crazy stalker. Otis, what are you doing? Otis. Otis. He said, I don't care about you, Mom. There's a dog on this side of the fence. Okay. Smorgasbord, green stalk. Not anything has really changed on here. I'd see an okra that I can harvest. Let me check the spider mite issue on this thyme, because I think I had convinced myself I needed to just remove it completely. Yeah, there's still some spider mite issues here. Over there maybe, oh, nope, I see some problems. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just cut this completely out, remove it. Well, I'll just cut it completely out. It looks like where I cut it back last week has new baby growth. So maybe if I just cut it all the way down, see what happens, see if it bounces back and recuperates. We have an aphid issue on the okra. I'm not super concerned about that because they really usually only mess with the flowers and not the fruits. But it doesn't really affect pollination that much from what I have personally experienced. Peppers on this side, they aren't looking so great. This one's actually looking really sad. This is a habanero. And then here's another habanero that is just about ripe. Yeah, these plants aren't looking very good. I may just go ahead and cut them down. Get this spot revamped and kind of ready for the next thing to go in it. Well, real live updates from an imperfect garden. But that is the update for this week's mid-September fallish garden. Everything is still doing really, really well. Makes me really happy. I have been a little bit lazy with the fertilizer lately, so you can kind of tell where some things need a little boost of nutrition, so I'll get out here and rectify that. But overall, really happy with where the garden sits right now. Lots of life happening, lots of flowers blooming, lots of bees buzzing around. If you can see down in there, bees buzzing around. Happy pollinators, happy flowers, happy vegetables, happy plants. But that is it for this week's weekly garden update. If you liked this video and you want to see how the garden progresses from week to week, please like, subscribe, comment, do all those different YouTube-y things. It is greatly helping my channel. But until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye!